me to deliver. They could be pictures of high art and fashion, living with someone else's Kodak and passion. Yes, I wish my children were loaded and grand, the richest young heirs in all of the land. I saw the boy out of jacket today, leather and zippers and a mustard to pay. He looked at the price tag and looked back at me with a hopeful blank stare of the broken to free. I told him the budget was tighter than skin, but I watched as the longing started sinking in. Later that evening while the house was all still, I slipped $40 inside of his bill. It's a physics of motion that nobody sees, how the fall to my wallet stays weak in the knees. My children were dependently wealthy, buying their way through this life nice and healthy. I want them to reach for the gold and the silver instead of the hands they expect me to deliver. They could be patrons of high art and fashion, living with someone else's Kodak and passion. Yes, I wish my children were loaded and ran, the richest young heirs in all of the land. A palace or at least a new flat with a view of the park and a velvet blue mat. She talks about savings and compound interest rates while leaning on hinges of my heavy gates. I lecture on labor and earning a salt, how a deficit lifestyle is always a fault. Then I pay for the plumber and the grocery cart and the gasoline pumping deep in her heart. It's a secret account and a ghost in a pen. I deny it at noon, then I fund it again. My children were independently wealthy, buying it away through this climb nice and healthy. I want them to reach for the gold and the silver instead of the hands that expect me to deliver. They could be pictures of high art and fashion, living with someone else's Kodak and passion. Yes, I list my children were loaded and brand, the richest young heirs in all of the land.